Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be installing the Burger Motorsports catch can in my Audi S3. It's the same process whether you've got an Audi S3, A3 or a Golf R of the same sort of era. So that's the 8V for the Audis or the Mark 7 and 7.5 for the Golf Rs. It's a really straightforward process for this one. There's only two hoses and one little bracket to install. Let's just jump straight in. So nice and simple to start with. I've removed my intake. I had an aftermarket intake on there, but it's the process whether you've got, like the single pipe to a pod filter sort of intake like I had, or if you had a stock airbox, you shouldn't actually need to remove too much. I needed to remove the intake pipe because it was pretty big and sort of sat up a little bit higher than the stock one. So I'm curious if this is going to fit. I hope it does. It should. But yeah, I just removed mine to give me a little bit more room. Now with the intake removed, it's just a matter of popping these two electrical connectors off the firewall here. So they just sort of pull straight out from where they are fairly easily. That one just slides out easily. The bottom one you sort of have to twist a little bit and pull, but it eventually does come out. And I might unplug both of those just to make it a little bit easier. So this just presses in and pulls apart. And then same for this connector as well. You just push in the little tab and that comes apart. So we'll just leave those kind of off to the side for now, just so that they are out of the way. So then the next thing to do is remove this bracket from the firewall. I've already had a go at this, and so I've already broken it, and so I'm going to show you what I did so that you can avoid doing that. There is a little section that sticks out here, and there's a little clip that goes into this hole in the firewall. So what I would suggest is getting a screwdriver or a pair of pliers down the back there and levering it forwards, and that will actually pull this bracket outwards rather than sort of putting pressure on the bracket itself. So anyway, now that that's done, this simply pulls off that little stud there. So that's the bracket that we want. It's meant to be a bit longer out here. This side doesn't really matter that much. I'll come back to that in a minute. But we want to get that bracket off and out of the way for now. So this is the first part of the bracket that we're going to be installing. There is this little stud on the end here. And so that is what gets located into this hole on the firewall. And then this hole simply slides over this stud on the firewall. So I'll pop that in there now. There you go. So that's how you know exactly where it should go. It can't really move from that spot. I'm going to put a little washer over the stud as well. Just like that. And then put the nut on the top of that to hold it down. Alright, so that's the bracket in. The little post in this section of the bracket doesn't seem to be going in. Maybe I've tightened it too much, I'm not sure, but at least it's relatively stable now. So the second part of the bracket now connects to the top of that first bracket. Now, because I got this kit secondhand, the bolts aren't the original bolts. I've just got some sort of random mishmash of bolts. Just ignore that. As long as you've got the right bolts to hold it in place, that's obviously all that matters. Here is the top part of the bracket now attached. So as you can see, the top part kind of connects to the bottom part, which is now attached to the firewall nice and securely. I did put an extra washer in behind here just to help give it a little bit more leverage. The instructions just say don't over tighten. I don't really know what don't over tighten means, like how tight are you supposed to go. But I do notice that this little post here isn't sticking in this hole no matter what I do. So whether I leave this really loose or really tight, it lines up with it, but it just doesn't go in. So yeah, not really sure. But anyway, it seems to be nice and secure now. So let's go ahead and get the actual can in place hanging underneath it now. So here is the actual can itself. We're going to use the holes on this side of the can, just to help keep the can further back towards the firewall, which might help keep it out of the way of my intake. I'm a little bit nervous about where the intake's going to sit now, but we'll see. There you go. That is the can in place, nice and securely. That is not moving at all. That's awesome. All right, so that's on there. It's looking pretty sweet. Now for the part that I would consider the trickiest, and that is rerouting the hoses. So instead of having the return hose from the PCB going back into the turbo inlet, now the air with the dirty blow-by gas is going to come out of the PCB into the new catch can, out of the catch can, into the turbo inlet. So we're just kind of piggybacking the catch can into the middle there. So there's nothing terribly hard about this, but one of the connections I know from past experience when I installed my new intake with the new turbo elbow, which has this connection on it. Actually, it's not fiddly to put on. It just kind of clips down once it gets into the right place. But to undo it can be a bit tricky. So let's go and have a look at that now. All right, so now we have to remove the PCV return hose from the turbo inlet, which is a matter of squeezing the little bracket around the edge, and then it pops off. Now, as you can see, there's a bit of oil here, and that is part of what we're trying to remove from the intake system. If I stick my finger in there, yeah, see there's a fair bit of oil in and around there, so that is exactly what we're trying to remove from the intake tract. So now that this fancy PCV hose is disconnected, I can use this handy little adapter that came with the Burger Motorsports kit, and that, as you can see, it's got that same sort of shape on it that the original inlet has on it. So it should be fairly straightforward. We just have to clip this into here. So then with that nice adapter in there, all that we have to do is simply attach a new hose to that. There we go. So that is ready to connect to the catch can. Now I'll just get the other longer hose, which goes back into the turbo inlet. This end of the other hose just slips over the little nipple there on the turbo inlet, but I'm just going to use a little bit of WD-40 to help lube things up a little bit first, because life's always better with a bit of lube. Okay, so that hose is now on the nipple on the inlet, so I can sort of connect that to there, and then this one goes to the other port. So there we go, we have our dirty, oily blow-by gas coming out of the engine, coming into the can. So this is the port that says in on this side here, and then we have it going through the can, hopefully filtering out a lot of the heavy oil that it can kind of condense back into liquid, and then it comes out of the can, back into the turbo inlet to be sort of re-burnt again and hopefully burn off more of that oily residue. Okay, so just a few little things that I just wanted to go over just quickly right before the end. And so that was, number one, I test fitted my intake in here, and it does fit, but I had to rotate these hose clamps to face the top and also to be as far that way as possible, just because the upgraded size of my intake, it's quite fat. And so it does just touch here, about here. So if I had the hose clamps out at the end of the barbs, it would sort of hit on my intake pipe, which I didn't want to do. So I just moved them both that way a little bit, which was fairly easy. I also, just to get this pipe on the barb on the inlet as far down as I could get it, I had to remove this connector here. I'm not sure what it's for. It looks like it's something to do with the variable cam timing. So I just had to unplug that plug, move it away so I could really push that hose down as far as possible. And once that was done, put a hose clamp around that as well, just to keep it tight and on that barb, and then plug this connector back in. And realistically, I think that's pretty much everything done. This is mounted and it's solid. All the hoses are in place, done up how they need to be with hose clamps. The actual instructions say you don't have to use hose clamps, but I'm paranoid about leaks. So I've got hose clamps where I need hose clamps. So those two there, one down there. This one, I don't think I need it. It's a very, very tight fitting, but I'll see how I go. And after a couple of days or maybe a week or two, if I start to notice oil blow-by coming out there, I will put a hose clamp on there as well. I think I will have to do that, but just for now, I just thought I'd let that one go because I don't actually have another hose clamp with me. So yeah, but apart from that, everything's basically done and ready to put my intake back on. And yeah, we're done. Oh, and one more thing, I also have obviously plugged back in these two connectors that used to sit up on the firewall in that bracket. Turns out that plastic bracket is no longer needed. Those connectors basically just sit loose, but they do sit at the back out of the way of everything. So yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. I don't think they're going to be in the way. So yeah, just wanted to point out that I did plug those back in as well. So all that's left to do now is get all of the intake and the airbox and this sort of stuff back in place and button everything up. Alright, so that's my airbox back in. That's my aftermarket airbox, and this is the aftermarket intake as well. And it is a bit of a tight squeeze, but it looks like it just gets in. It is definitely a tight squeeze. Okay, so that's the airbox, the little bolt that holds the intake on, as well as this clamp that I'm about to do up. And as you can see, it's just touching on the bottom of this pipe, but it's not really pushing up on it as such. It's just kind of, it's just sitting there. So I'm not unhappy with that. I think that should work out all right. Yes! So there you go, guys. That is a look at how to install one of the easiest to install catch cans on your Audi S3, A3 or Golf R Mark 7 or 7.5. As you can see, it's quite a cute little catch can just sitting there doing its own thing. It's not exactly in the way. It's not exactly noticeable as well, if that makes sense. Yes, you can obviously see it, but it's not like some of these, you know, shiny, blingy ones that, you know, some of the JDM cars I've seen have as well. So, guys, that's about it for this video. If you found this useful, please make sure you drop a comment, like the video if you wouldn't mind, subscribe to the channel for more like this, and I'll see you in the next one.